So Rex or Mentee orientation, you guys are here to find out a little bit more about the research experience program, logistics, deadlines, what it's all about. So first of all, who are we? URO, Undergraduate Research Opportunities. We're a body of execs, about 45 execs. We're one of the largest UBC AMS clubs on campus, and what we do, we try to push the boundaries of what's possible as an undergraduate researcher, and to help undergraduates to facilitate an early entrance into research. There's a picture of us under me. What do we do? Of course, REX, this is what you're here for, the Research Experience Program. This is going to be our 5th year running program. We help it with MERC, which, for those of you that don't know, it's the Multidisciplinary Undergraduate Research Conference. That takes place at UBC every March. So if you guys carry out with the REX program, this is what you'll be presenting your final project at. And MERC is the largest undergraduate research conference in BC. More things that we do, we hold research office hours. We have drop-in dates as well as scheduled appointments. And we have trained research coaches there to help you with all of the research questions, whether that may be emailing a prof, how to email, what kind of strategies or what profs like to see. We all have really strong, really planned out steps that we can guide you through. We also help with national and international undergraduate research associations, as well as international undergraduate journals. Why get involved in research? I'm sure there's first years, second years, third years, and fourth years probably. And one of the main reasons is you want to get a mentor. You want to find someone to mentor you. And right now, for the REX program, we have over 100 mentors signed up. And for those of you that don't know, mentors are graduate students and postdoc students who are looking to gain some sort of mentorship experience. You want to get involved in research because you're passionate about the mentor's research. You're going to have 6 months to get to know your mentor. And why we really like the 6 months, the length of our program, is because your mentor really gets to see if research is right for you, and yourself, you get to see if research is right for you. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. And in addition to the 6 months, you also get to realize and to see for yourself, can you balance extracurriculars? Can you balance EC with school? Can you balance research with school? Or what are some kind of time management skills you can learn from this program? For those of you interested in medical school, pharmacy, dentistry, graduate school, or just intellectual curiosity, research is definitely something you don't want to lack on your CV. And one of the things we strive to give you is, from joining the REX program, is you can go from zero research experience, to presenting at the largest undergraduate research conference in BC. And of course, again, that's MERC, which takes place in March.
Okay, more specifically, so why should you join REX program? So by joining the REX program, you'll become a part of a research group. Usually each mentor will have 3 to 4 students in the research group. So you'll gain a group working experience and also gain independent research experience. It's an opportunity for you to apply classroom knowledge, and you will have the potential to be accepted into the mentor's lab. Although we do not guarantee that all the mentor will offer their students this opportunity. And also you can have potential publication with a mentor. You will try out the field of research that interests you and see if you should pursue that field in the future. It saves you the trouble of finding out halfway through a PhD. And it's also a safe way for you to maybe fail or succeed because there's no consequences attached to any of the outcomes of this program. So this year we opened up a new position in addition to the application to be a mentee. It's called the REX Pod Leader. It's a position for you to gain leadership experience and get more involved with URO. So as a REX Pod Leader, you're acting as a bridge between the executives and the REX mentees. We're going to group 3 to 4 groups of research groups together, and each group will have one pod leader to organize some social events for all the mentees, and you can help to improve the REX curriculum. The application for the REX pod leader is also included in the Step 2 application on our website. Okay, more specifically about the application process. The deadline to submit submit your Mentee application online. It's October 2nd. And before you submit, you must become a URO member first, because we will need you to fill in your membership number on the application form. The membership fee is only $5, and you can sign up today outside in the lobby area.
Yeah, outside.
And if you give your money today, don't worry about it. You can come find us on Clubs Day during the Clubs Week. We'll be in front of the pit, I believe.
And you guys, our booth outside tonight is just in the common area. You guys can see our big stand of URO posters.
So on the application, there will be only one question for each mentor. So why are you interested in this mentor's research? And propose a research project that you might want to do with your mentor. And to more specifically talk about the application, this is like.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through the application process with you guys, so bear with me. I'll just go step by step. So first, you want to go on our website. You are so first you go to our website. Hopefully it loads. Oh, that's the problem.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Wait. Can you? No. Technical problem, sorry. Okay, so you go to our website, URO UBC. Then you click on Rex Experience Program. And I'm sure most of you guys have already signed up for, so you go down for students. I'm sure most of you guys already signed up for the step 2 process, but here's our mental files. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to look through a mentor file in medicine. It's going to take you to like a PDF file. So as you can see, there's a lot of mentors that you can choose from. So definitely I suggest that you guys read like the mentor file, the little blurb they have here. So for example, we can look at Nellie's blurb. So just briefly, when you look at this, you know that she works on intestinal microbiota. So basically the different kinds of microorganisms that live in your gut. For example, she talks about how microbiota starts developing and growing from the minute you're born, how it can be influenced, and how it can depend based on where you're born as well. It can affect like specific properties like your immune properties as well. So you look through, and if you see you're interested in your research, like they'll always link you to a citation. For example, they usually put you a link in here. For science articles, it's a little bit easier. For this one's actually pretty easy. So you go to PubMed, which is basically a database for journals and papers. And she specifically says to search up these articles. So you would copy and paste. So as you see, how many of you guys have looked at a paper before? Okay, so you kind of know what's going on, right? We have the abstract, introductions usually. So when you look here, I think a lot of times it's easier when you're at UBC, because sometimes the link they give you can only be accessed through a UBC server, because UBC pays everyone, and so they can have access to specific journals. But in this case, for example, if you want to just open like full text, they'll just give you another link. If you guys can't find like the full text or anything, just give it an email, we can always help you out. So the most important thing to read, I guess, at this stage, since mentors, to be honest, like even when I look through some of these stuff, even after like upper year, like I guess undergraduate training, like sometimes it's still difficult to figure out exactly what they're saying. So the most important part, I guess the most easy to understand part is always the abstract, where they just kind of give a general overview to their research. So this specific link talks about, you just want to briefly glance over it with me. So it talks about how human microbial colonization, basically from birth and helps develop for about 3 years until the microbiota becomes adult-like. And the microbiota in their gut can affect their immune system. And specifically basically what microorganisms are in their gut can affect a lot of factors, including obesity. So you just try to pick up keywords. There's some stuff you don't know. For example, this word, I have no idea what this word means. You can either search it up or you can skim over it if it doesn't affect the main reading. So as you look on, you can see that the gut microbiota is pretty important to maintaining our development, either immune system, metabolic, or neurological diseases. And so basically now you have an understanding of what this project is about. If you want more in-depth information, there's a lot of it. I recommend you guys skim over this. For example, specifically the methods. They're very specific in that they're written in a case where you're supposed to be able to replicate step by step exactly how they did their experiment. Like that's how you ensure that your colleagues are able to verify your research, right? So a lot of times, even like maybe professors in different fields wouldn't even understand what the methods say. So if you guys go through this and you see a lot of different stuff, don't worry about it. Just try to get the main idea. You can skip over even the methods or briefly take a look if you understand or not. And then skip all the way. It's long ago. Right. Usually you have basically a summary or conclusion or discussion. I recommend you guys take a look at that too. So as you can see, sometimes I think this one is more of a review than it is an actual experiment, so it's a lot longer than what it normally would be. If you look at the conclusion, just look over it, skim over it, take down some key points, and generally try to understand the mentor's research. And so once you've done that, so that's one article that she linked. There's another article that I won't show you guys. But if we go back, for the Mentee application process number 2, what you would do is you would fill out your name, your information, your email, and your URL number, followed by other these kind of information. So you would put your mentor choice over here, and then you would just basically say why you're interested in the mentor's research and a potential question you may be working on. So for example, after reading the mentor that we've kind of gone through, does anyone have any idea of what she does, kind of? Or do you guys have an idea of what to propose with her? Okay, yeah.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind would be something about the effects of antibiotics.
Exactly. That's really good because if you take a lot of antibiotics in hospitals, when you eliminate your normal gut bacteria, other infections can happen, which can also kill you as well. So obviously you can suggest some kind of research like that with her, or you can say, for example, I'm born in a foreign country, I wonder how, my gut microbiota might be different from everyone else, or how consuming my diet would be different as well. So you would say something along those lines.
How specific do we have to be?
I think you should focus mostly on the main idea, since we only give you about 300 words. So as long as you can communicate to your mentor that you kind of understand the research, and you can kind of understand, and they can kind of understand where you're coming from as well. But of course, it's better to narrow it down even a little bit more, because they might see what you're interested in and help you narrow it down for a potential project. If you just say oh, I'm interested in the different stuff in your gut, and then it's gonna be hard for you to do a research question as well. So you can choose up to 3 mentors. We would recommend you put at least 2, up to 3. And here's the part where you guys can say something you're interested in the Rex pocket or not. And if you have any questions, we can always help you guys out. I know looking at papers can be pretty intimidating. So yeah.
How do you decide which person gets a national pitch, which mentor? Is it first come, first served?
Why don't we actually take all the questions at the end if that's okay? Because I'm sure you guys many of you will have questions. Okay? Sweet. And just a reminder, I know it seems like a bit of work having to look through some papers, but just remember that this application is going to be sent, it's going to be forwarded to the mentors, and the purpose of this application is for the mentors to choose their mentees. So if you just write something really generic, like, yeah, I'm really interested in microbiology research, the mentor's not going to be impressed and likely will choose someone who applied with an application that is a bit more specific to their field.
So after you accepted as a mentee or a mentor, the first thing you need to do is to come up with your research question, and that is due around the end of November. Usually the mentor and the mentee will decide the research question together, but sometimes the students will determine their own research question, and in rare cases, the mentor will determine the research question for the students. But that is only for research students where advanced knowledge must be known to determine a meaningful question, such as quantum physics or high-level math. And in those cases, students are expected to obtain results or solve questions. So the amount of workload you expect should be the same.
So don't expect it, don't think you have the easy route off if your mentor determines a research question for you, because generally we only allow that for if it's physically impossible for undergraduates to come up with a research question, meaning it will be even hard for the graduate students to come up with a research question, which would be the case in complex subjects like quantum physics, complex math.
So what makes a good research question? As a mentee, you are there to make sure the question is based on your mentor's research field, and make sure the question is interesting, ethically, and logistically feasible, as if you're actually going to carry out the project. And you want your research question to be specific, and although you don't want to limit yourselves, but try to keep it realistic. Even though it's a theoretical project, we want it to be feasible. And we do offer a workshop on that to help you guys how to come up with a good research question. It will be during the third week of October, and the exact date will be emailed to you guys later on.
I'm just going to take a quick step back. We've been working on risk for a while, so I think we kind of assumed that you guys know a lot about risk, but I'll give you a really brief summary of what REX is, for those of you that haven't heard about it. REX, Research Experience Program, what you'll be doing is you'll be paired up in your own little research group, and you have your own mentor who's a grad student or a postdoc student. What you guys will be working on is designing your own research experiment of your own choice. So you guys will be designing the experiment for the most part. And you guys will most likely be creating a poster presentation or sometimes an oral presentation to present at NERC. So that's the general flow of how REX works.
So we'll be if you are creating a poster, the first section to work on will be the background of the rationale. And this section is where you will put any information that the readers need to understand in order to understand your project, such as definitions or just really basic background knowledge. And this part you also want to include reasons why you're doing this research project. So why does it matter, or how is it applicable to the audience life? Next is the hypothesis, and it will be very similar to your research questions, so this part will take a lot of time for you to work on. Some points to keep in mind is you have to make it as specific as possible, and you want to communicate it in a really clear manner, using everyday language. Because your project will be targeted at a more general audience, so you want them to be able to understand what you're actually trying to investigate.
And just as an FYI, these images that we have up here, you guys can feel free to read through them, but they're by no means what we expect you guys to have, or what we want you guys to have in any case. They're just examples of a previous winning poster example, and we decided you guys could have a look at what's something that you guys could work towards.
Methodology. So this part, you will be brainstorming on the techniques or methods that you can use to investigate your research question and to measure your results. And you want to be able to compare the advantages and limitations of the methods. this part is for you to prepare for the work presentation. Because what happens at work is we'll have adjudicators going around and asking people, the students, about their project, about why you choose this method for your project. And so that being said, you can make your methodology as complex as you want, but that means you'll have to do a lot more preparation work on being able to justify why you choose this method to the adjudicators at work. We also have a workshop day for that as well. It'll be during the 4th week of November.
And just to add on a bit onto that slide, what Rex really strives to achieve is to teach the Rex mentees, to teach undergrads how to think like a researcher and how research works. I mean, it's one thing to be able to, like a lot of undergrads look for positions where you can wash test tubes, you can use pipettes, you can run gels. That stuff you can easily train just through a couple of weeks. But what Rex teaches you through designing your own research project is how to think like a researcher and how research actually takes place, given multiple constraints. For example, what methodology should I take? And if I have these different results, what do these different results mean? And what further directions can I take with the different results? So when we say no wet lab experience, that's what we mean, because we try and teach you how to think like a researcher. And on top of that, some mentors are actually comfortable with taking you into their lab and showing you some techniques that they're comfortable with sharing with you guys.
Yes, but we do not guarantee that you will have that opportunity with a mentor.
So adding on to methodology, on your methods section in your poster, you're going to design the methods as if you were going to do the experiment yourself. Remember, I've said this multiple times, you guys will be designing your very own research experience under the guidance of your mentor. So your mentor's not going to spoon feed everything to you. You guys are actually going to design your own research experiment within your group of your own choice. And you guys, for methods, you should, along with your mentor, along with guidance from your mentor, you guys will be discussing limitations, advantages, and disadvantages of the method that you choose and why you chose this method.
Just on side notes, as you can see from this example, they included a table for their methodology. So remember, you're doing a poster, and visuals is important. So a table will make it really clear to the audience what you're going to do, or you can do a flow chart. That would be a really good idea as well.
For anticipated results, we say anticipated because there could, for some Rex groups, it could just be a theoretical research project where you won't have concrete data. However, for other groups that do have results, or maybe your mentor is comfortable sharing with you guys his or her results, you guys will actually have results. But anyways, for this slide, for anticipated results, your role will be your results will basically be based on your lit reviews, on your literature research. Or, again, as I've said, if the mentor feels comfortable with sharing his or her research with you guys, and you guys can, of course, work with those, we're totally cool with that. And as Jesse mentioned, of course, since the poster, you guys are going to want to use a lot of graphs and visuals to appeal to the audience. And our workshop date for results is scheduled to be on the 2nd week of January. Some good elements for results would be talking about the different results talking about the different results your experiments could yield, what they mean, and possible future directions you could take with these further results. So one thing that when I did Rex, what my mentor did with us was she showed us different kinds of results and what those different results meant, and what that really trained us to do is really think about what further directions you could take with the research you have. So say maybe one day when you guys are doing your PhD, you're doing real research, you would have already had experience analyzing results and seeing what future directions you could take with them. Again, lots of graphs and visuals is always good, as in this example right here. You see some micrographs as well as some graphs. And of course, again, your final project, your final end goal of the Rex program is presenting either a poster or an oral presentation at MERC, Multidisciplinary Undergraduate Research Conference, the largest undergraduate research conference in BC. And this occurs in late March every year. And as Jesse said, you guys will have adjudicators walking around judging you guys' presentation and poster, and then there will be winners announced at the end of the conference.
So for work, you do have to submit an abstract for them. So as a mentee, your role is to come up with your research outline and send your draft or outline to a mentor for revision. After you edit it, they'll send it back to you and you can perfect it and send it in. And the deadline to submit your work is the first week of February. Yeah. And that is a hard deadline because it's organized by work. And some tips for abstract, you want to make your abstract accessible to the general public. Just like your poster, you want to communicate in everyday language and use big terminology.
And there's also a workshop associated with the MERC abstract. Typically, abstracts are the most, they take the most work into writing because you're trying to put all of your paper's work or your experiments work into a really short blurb. And the workshop is not actually held by URO, it's held by the MERC organizers. And that's going to be in the first week of February. And you'll be submitting an abstract to MERC in the second week of February.
Sorry, wrong, the second week of February is the deadline.
Your end project, your end goal is design a poster or a presentation, as I've told you guys. What your roles will be is to create the basic design of the poster. And it's really common to create a poster on PowerPoint. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, we've already communicated with mentors, and the mentors are comfortable with showing you guys how to work that out. You guys will be heavily editing the final draft as well as with your mentor and your mentor's guidance. But make sure you don't let the mentor write the poster for you because that just takes away from your experience. Your loss, not your mentor's, not ours. And some tips we have for you guys is workshops available for students who don't know how to design a poster on PowerPoint. We have a workshop for that as well as your mentor could actually show you guys how to do that. And for last year, I've heard that some mentors, what they do is they try to draw out the poster on just a sheet of paper with their mentees, just to kind of get the creativity flowing, just to kind of get the basic structure of the poster down.
And you guys don't need to worry about printing all the poster from work. Once you submit it to work, they'll print it out for you for free.
As long as you meet the deadline. Yeah. And our workshop date for poster presentation or presentation is 4th week of February, which is slightly a month before work. We have examples of posters on our website, which I will write on the chalkboard in a bit. You guys can take a look at some of those examples. Yeah.
So you can see there are lots of flowcharts, tables, graphs. So the information is really easy for the audience to see. And there's not a lot of writing. More of your responsibilities as a mentee is to keep in contact with your mentors. I know it's going to be tough with midterms, with your other work or with volunteering or with other extracurricular activities, but mentors are typically cool with that as long as you communicate and establish some kind of structure to your research meetings and to your recs in general. You'll be expected to establish your initial contact with your research group along with your mentor. Your mentor will probably send out the initial email connecting all of you guys together. And you spend 3 to 4 hours each month meeting up with your group. That may be on campus. That may be where your mentor's working. So it could be at CFRI, Child Family Research Institute. It could be at BC Cancer Agency. It really depends on where your mentor is comfortable meeting.